Obviously, buying a residential property, you need a decent credit. And for me, my credit has always been floating in the green mark. But I've probably been using the American Express card for probably about 2 years, because I was told that obviously when you get an American Express card or credit card, you pay off on time, it'll boost up your credit. Cool. My American Express card was obviously utilized so well to the point where I was able to use up to £25,000. Again, because I'm just making so many transactions that I paid from one of my business accounts with Barclays. That flagged up on their system. That was an issue for them. Then another time was a second issue for them was, so back with another video. Honestly, it's been so much, man. So much going on, I can't lie. So much going on. Obviously, in the previous video, I stated that I'm in the process of actually buying my residential property. And honestly, there's a lot that I've learned in the process. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I thought I knew a fair bit about, and as I said in the previous video, lack of education is killing our people, man. But to cut a long story short, obviously buying a residential property, you need a decent credit. And for me, my credit has always been floating in the green mark. So I think it's around the 900 marks, I believe it is. My credit's always been floating there. Now, I've started using the American Express card. I've probably been using the American Express card for probably about 2 years. Yeah, I've been paying back my American Express card on time, because I was told that obviously when you get an American Express card or credit card, you pay off on time, it'll boost up your credit. Cool. My American Express card was obviously utilized so well to the point where I was able to use up to £25,000. That's how well they've just been increasing it. And so obviously, because I've been using it up to its max and there hasn't really been any issue, or to be honest, I've just been using it a lot. So let's say £10,000, £15,000, whatever, for my developments. I've been using it, there's been no issues. But now it comes to buying a house, and there's so many things that I didn't realize. For example, my American Express cards, long story short, three of them got closed down because I didn't actually read the terms and conditions properly. So for those who actually have American Express cards, make sure you actually read the terms and conditions properly. For example, I have a personal one. I also have a business one with American Express. Well, I did before they closed it down. Now, one of the terms and conditions with American Express is that if you are taking a personal card, you have to pay from a personal bank account. Again, it might sound obvious, but again, some people probably don't know that. I didn't know that. So if I took it in my personal name, I have to make sure that I'm paying it from a personal account, which I'm banked with Barclays, so I have to pay it from my personal Barclays account. I made a mistake once, again, because I'm just making so many transactions, that I paid from one of my business accounts with Barclays. That flagged up on their system. That was an issue for them. Then another time, which was a second issue for them, was I paid from my other business. So again, I was under the assumption that, okay, cool, it's a business card. If you pay from your business, it's fine because it's not personal. But then I paid from one of my other businesses. That flagged up in their system. And then the third one, which I can't remember, I might remember later on in the video, it flagged up. So now all three of my American Express cards were cancelled. And then I decided to apply for another American Express card. That got declined. Then I decided to do it again under my middle name for business. That got declined. Then I decided to do it again for a personal American Express card. That got accepted. Now, I was thinking, okay, cool, I just done 3 searches for American Express card. Well, a free application for American Express card, it's calm. Now I go to my credit score. My credit score has gone down massively. Again, because those are all hard searches that have been done in my name. And also I'm opening up, so three credit cards were cancelled essentially. And now I'm opening up a new one. Again, these are things that affected my credit. So now it's coming to me applying for a mortgage. The mortgage offer that I got initially, it now comes back and they're saying that they're rejecting it. And the reason they're rejecting it is because my credit score has significantly gone down from what it was. So I started using this American Express card. My credit limit is only £3,000. And again, I've just been maxing out because again, I was told that when you have a credit card, if you max it out and you pay off at the end of the month or whatever, like, you're completely fine. This was a mistake I didn't know. One thing I actually grew to find out is that with credit cards, you're advised to use up to 30% of the limit. Yeah. And this is what actually helps. When you use more than that, again, I was using 100%. This affects your credit score because it's showing them that you're not able to manage your money efficiently. So my credit score, little did I know, my credit score was going further and further down to the point where it's even gone crazy. Like, it's right now, it's in the red zone. Fortunately, fingers crossed, like there's an application that's in the process. So hopefully that might be all right because again, they're looking at my earnings. But I applied for another personal bank account because I made with Lloyds this time. Again, I didn't know that affects my credit. So there are so many things that I've been doing, and I'm sure so many people are doing that they don't realize actually affects their credit. Now I feel like a lot of people probably grow up and they probably don't realize like what's so important about credit. Like you can go through life without having good credit, but honestly, credit is actually more important than you realize, because credit allows you to leverage. When you want to borrow money, whether it's from an institution, whether from a mortgage or anything, they really look at your credit. You know, I know so many people who've done various things in their past and they've got like, things like CCJs, and again, it could be through things like not paying parking tickets, you know, and these are things that seem so minuscule to people, but people actually don't realize that these things actually add up, you know. So I think it's so important that people actually take the time to actually educate yourself and actually understand the importance of having credit, because again, I'm sure lots of people do want to get on the housing ladder. If you want to get on the housing ladder and if you want to get a good rate from the mortgage lender, then you need to have good credit. So again, for those with credit cards, one thing you need to do is try not to utilize all your credit. Yeah, through research they're saying 30% is what you should be using, like max. Again, if you know that you're applying for a mortgage, be smart with your spending. Don't need to be opening new credit cards, don't need to be opening new accounts, especially personal accounts. Business accounts is fine, because I opened business accounts, there was no issue, and even speaking to my accountant, business accounts, there's no issue with that, but it's the personal ones which are the issue, man. So yeah, and even now it comes to the developments as well, they're also doing checks. So all these checks, the more checks that's happening, then it can only affect your credit. And there's something on Experian where you can actually lock your credit score. So I believe that means that when people want to do searches on your name, there's only so much that can be given, and I think it may only allow soft searches. So yeah, these are things that people really need to educate themselves on. For those who are parents as well, another thing that I actually found out through research as well is that parents can actually improve their child's credit. I believe on a credit card they can actually allow their child to be a user, which means that their child can technically be a user of the credit card, but obviously they don't necessarily need to give it to them. So this means that parents, without them actually giving their child a credit card, they can actually help build their child's credit. Again, these are things that people actually, well, I never knew that, you know, but these are things that can actually help give people a head start in life. So yeah, for those who are parents and you want to build your child's credit score, that's actually something that you can actually do to actually help them, give them that head start in life. Unsure of whether they actually need to care about their credit score, honestly, my advice is take your credit score seriously. You know, whether your monthly payments, whether you've got cars, whether it's phones, like all these things are affected by your credit score. Because if you have a better credit score, then the chances are you're going to have a better term. Whether it's a mortgage, for example, you're going to be open up to more lenders because you have a better credit score. So again, this will obviously mean that you're paying lower payments. So again, this will benefit you in the long run. So yeah, I think a lot of people just need to take better care with their credit score, man. If you have bills, if you have debts, if you have parking tickets, just pay it. It's not worth the hassle. If you want to buy a house, make sure during that whole mortgage process you're not doing anything to affect your credit score. Because honestly, when I found out that news that my application got declined, honestly, I was stressing because my credit score was just going further and further down through these hard searches. I was just actually analysing my credit score. And another thing that some people think, that I've heard apparently, is the more you look at your credit score, the more it affects it. That's incorrect. Like that's a myth. Look at your credit score, look at it consistently to actually, I think you can even put a tracker or something like that on your email. And there's also things that you can actually do to your credit to actually boost your credit. Linking your cards to your Experian can actually boost your credit score. So on the Experian website, again, I know some people don't pay for it, but I would probably advise paying for it if you can. They actually give you things on what you can do to actually improve your credit score, which I would say people should actually take the time to look at, because in this day and age, in 2025, you need to be able to leverage as much as possible, because cash is king, man. And I know there's a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur as well, having good credit is only going to be your advantage. So yeah, I will say, like, don't really stress out or panic if your credit score isn't great at the moment, because you can always do things to build up. I think the most important thing is just about the habits. It's just about money habits. And there's a lot of people who don't have good money habits. Like, what you're really spending on, it doesn't make sense. You know, maybe I might talk about that in depth in another video, like people's money habits, man, because that's something that I've realized growing up, man. I would say I've always been someone with a decent money spending habit. Like, I don't spend frivolously, but I think on the topic of credit and on the topic of actually utilizing money wisely, I think it's so important that people actually manage their expenses, manage your debt. Debt is good if you know how to manage it. And I think that's one thing when I'm surrounded by people who are doing well in life, and I'm in rooms with other rich, successful people, it's because they know how to manage debt. So you need to manage debt to your disadvantage. If you don't, it will cripple you. And yeah, having good credit can really open doors to enable you to manage debt better, man. But yeah, that's probably the end of the video, talking about credit. But yeah, I really hope it helps people open their eyes to the importance of credit and why they really need to take time to actually build their credit. These are things that it's so important that people really take the time to educate themselves, man. But yeah, appreciate you getting to the end of the video. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is _EZY Property. And yeah, like the video. Thank you.